Chad Jones from the Southwest Organizing Project, and also one of the members of the leadership team for the Retake Our Democracy. Chad?
Good afternoon, everybody. As Paul said, my name is Chad Jones, and it's marvelous. Thank you. It's marvelous to see this many people here. I think Alan was talking about emotions, and I've got a sense of like faith and love in the power of people in a way that I haven't in my 38 years. The way I was trained as an organizer kind of breaks life in the world, and certainly in this country, into three sectors: that of the corporate sector, that of government, which are the two stronger sectors, and then the weakest sector in our life, and certainly in the last century, if not in the entirety of this nation's history, is the civic sector. And so I feel like the fact there's so many of us out less than 2 weeks after Election Day, my partner is quick to tell me she was pretty clear on how these elections were going to go down a couple of weeks ago. I was shocked as fuck Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. But as Paul said in an email in the last few days, there might be 20 people here today if Hillary Clinton had won Election Day. And I think it's helped us wake up.
Hold
Thanks,
on. Speak right into the...
So, Barack Obama has deported more immigrants than any president before him. Barack Obama has really slept on all of the torture and some of the most nasty facets of foreign policy that the Bush administration installed in the name of the war on terror. And it calls all of us, not as Democrats, not as progressives, not as socialists, but I think as human beings, to figure out which side of justice are we going to stand on. And when we're on our deathbeds or when we're dead, we look back on our lives and wonder, what the fuck did we do with our lives? And so it's an honor to get to be here. I just met Dan Crone for the first time at noon today. We did a Know Your Rights training with 30 people down at in the rail yard, because we're going to have to get to better know and live our rights as humans, as our constitutional rights as American citizens, but also to understand civil rights and also figure out what we have the power and the authority to do, even if it's illegal, but it's moral. That's what we're being compelled to do, and we're going to be increasingly compelled to do, not just sitting around and waiting for our Muslim brothers and sisters, our immigrant communities. I come from a mixed race family. My father is black and my mother is white, and plenty of blacks with plenty of immigrants and plenty of queers and plenty of women will tell you this hasn't been a safe nation for us ever. So it's great to be here. Paul asked me to talk about what we're putting together for the spring semester at the community college, because one of the things people who've been active in local politics in the city and county of Santa Fe know that the community college is a vibrant hub of life, and it's oftentimes quite disconnected and divorced from a lot of what happens around the plaza and what happens around City Hall. So we're trying to figure out how to put together a weekly forum down at the community college. We're working with some of the staff and faculty who work on student leadership issues up down there to help offer some civics education to community college students and open it up to the public. So I'm sure we'll use the Retake the Roundhouse platforms online to let you know who the speakers and what the organizing trainings that we're going to be doing down there, along with the Southwest Organizing Project, but other people, kind of what we did, because we're going to be entering a new time. And as I saw recently on the internet, we need to stop comparing what's looming to Nazi Germany and start to better understand what's looming in relation to Andrew Jackson's presidency, and be able to better understand our own history as Americans, because Andrew Jackson ran on a platform of genocide and then he perpetuated genocide as president. And so I've been quite resolute in the last week that we're not entering the era of Nazi Germany, because our civil society and our country is further along than Germany was 80 years ago, in my opinion, in my estimation. But really, I think what I'm banking on is my faith on people like us getting to know one another and figuring out what we start to do. Thank you. To be able to figure out how we make Santa Fe not just a sleepy sanctuary city and we rest on our laurels because we see that title in the newspaper, but we actually make this a haven and a hub for people who are feeling threatened, and so that we can figure out not just how to protect Roe versus Wade, but so that we can actually really start to dismantle rape culture in that exudes all of our... through all of our bodies, because we have been raised in this patriarchal, racist, misogynist world. I'm going to be helping with Susan a little bit later, but it's great to see you here. The last thing I'll say is I think Victoria was talking about the importance of supporting groups like the Dreamers Project and Somos Un Pueblo Unido, the Southwest Organizing Project, is those of you who have some money to give, don't leave that shit in a bank account or an IRA or a 401k. If you're leaving in the 401k, in my opinion, that's a waste of money because we're in no control of those stock markets, and this president is guaranteeing he's going to fuck with your stock market. And I would say you put that in community and put it, if you need to take the tax deduction, give it to a 501c3 organization, because that's going to make sure that we've got a country and a society and a world for not just for my child or grandchildren or your grandchildren, but for those 7 generations that come after now. So thank you, and we'll see you around.